I'm not going to lie.
It.
I just want to replay it.
I
just want to listen to it over and over again.
It's so great.
Hey, welcome to the Laugh and Be Blessed podcast with your hosts, Jake and Chia Rubel.
Hello.
And for regular listeners, you just heard our new intro.
Yes.
That is our new intro. Very excited about it. I've been talking about it for about a month now, that I've kind of been thinking about switching up, I'm thinking maybe like once a year, twice a year or so, just changing the intro and just spicing it up.
Very supernatural of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I had mentioned it on the show, and I got an email, and it was from someone who likes the show. They've, I guess they were at a show of mine in Indianapolis, and liked me, checked out the podcast, liked the podcast, and messaged, and we kind of talked a little bit, and next thing I knew, boom, he made that amazing...
It's so good.
I'm going to be honest with you, though. I've talked to, like, local musicians before.
Yeah.
Where they'll message me or something, and then they'll send me, like, a link to listen to their music, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, to be polite.
Yeah.
But he sent me a link. Like, I read his email, and the guy was very, very nice. I was very touched that he took the time just to message me and be like, hey, I like the show. I loved seeing you, at Gutty's. Wanted to do a show with me, basically. And I clicked the link and listened to his song. He's got a brand new single that he just put out that's called Win for Losing. And you can actually listen to the song. It's on Embrace the Gray Publishing. That's Gray, Gray.
Did you know? Just
hold on.
Okay.
EmbraceTheGrayPublishing.com. You can listen to the song and do it. And I'm going to put a link on our Blessed Ones group. I listened to that song and was blown away by how good it was.
Yeah.
So then was just like, yeah, man, if you would like to do an intro for the podcast, that would be dope. And then a few days later, he sent me that intro.
Wow.
So the artist, his name, if I mess up his last name, hopefully he listens to the show enough to know that I'm just an idiot. His name's Michael Rubadue.
Okay.
Rubadue or Rubadue? I'm not, it's Rubadue. So whatever the correct way of saying that last name is, that's him. And yeah, I guess it's Embrace the Gray is kind of like his thing. I believe there's a Facebook page for it and everything. I'm going to promote the fire out of this dude.
Yeah.
And as soon as things open back up, I've got a few friends who like own bars and stuff. I'm going to have this guy playing.
Yeah.
And we're doing shows together.
Oh,
because that is my style of music.
I love it.
I didn't know, I didn't give him any direction. He was like, well, what would you like for me to do? He said, I want to do the intro for you. What do you want it to sound like? And I was like, dude, I trust you.
Yeah.
Like, you do you. You've listened to the show. You've seen my stand-up. And he nailed it.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
For sure.
Like, man,
I
well
love
done.
it.
Well done, Michael. We love you now.
Yes.
I
love it.
Yeah, it's great stuff. So welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Not to dwell on that intro, but man, that was good. That is good.
What I was going to say is, did you know the color gray?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know which way it's spelled? With the E or an A?
I always spell it with an E. But one way is American Standard and the other way is English.
So they're both correct.
Yeah.
I thought one was the color and one was the last name. And I found out that
there's a lot of stuff.
Correct.
Axe is like that as well. So the American Standard version of Axe is AX. But the English is AXE.
I thought it was AXE.
That's how I always spell it. But literally the article I just finished writing is about a movie called Dementia 13. And it's like a movie that came out in the 60s. I should know so many facts about this movie right now because I just wrote an article about it, but I'm just going to blank.
Okay.
But it's essentially a movie in the 60s that's like about this lady whose husband dies, and she really wants this inheritance, but he dies like while they're arguing about, because he has a really rich family, and they're arguing about the inheritance that she thinks that they should get. He has a heart attack. They're in a boat. She throws him over into the lake, and then she like flies to Ireland where his family lives and tries to trick them into giving an inheritance. So the whole first part of the movie, you're thinking like, oh, this is like a weird mystery where is she going to get the inheritance? What's going to happen? And then she's murdered by an axe murderer. And then, like, the axe murderer just goes around killing people, and it's like a mystery thing. Like, but it's in the early 60s. It's like...
What's it called again?
It's called Dementia 13, and it's the oldest slasher film I've seen so far. I know there's older ones, but to me, this is the oldest one I've seen. And I didn't even know that's what it was going to be, because I got the assignment.
Yeah.
And never heard of this movie, and then watched it. And the director, it was the first mainstream film that the director from, like, The Godfather and Apocalypse Now and stuff like that, it was his first film, really.
Oh.
And the only reason he got it was because he was the sound man on another film with a very famous guy who I can't think of right now. And that guy had like $22,000 left over in their budget for the film they were working on, and was like, well, I'll just make another quick one. But then he didn't have the time, so then he just talked to his sound guy and was just basically like, you make one. And the guy wrote the script in one night.
Wow.
Came back to the producer and was like, well, here's my idea. There's this woman, and she's going to strip down almost completely naked and then jump into a pond, and then she's, like, attaching these dolls to the bottom of a pond, and the dolls will float up later, and then to trick this lady, right? And then, like, she sees this dead body in the pond, so she kind of gets scared, and she swims to the surface, and an axe murderer, boom, kills her.
What in the world?
And the producer was like, all right, here's $22,000 and a crew. Make it. Yeah, what an opportunity of a lifetime.
That is the most... I don't know. I feel like I need to watch this now.
I know that there's a lot of older black and white films that you don't care to watch, but the good ones... There's just some of them that you're just like, I don't know. Like, the ones I watch, because a lot of times the ones I'm watching are like B movies that no one really likes. That's what I mean. Sorry, I didn't mean to say you're uncultured.
Uncultured, jeez.
This one is... No, this is like... It's... The producer... pretty much told him he wanted a Psycho ripoff.
Oh.
So it's got that feel to it.
So was Psycho before?
Yes.
So really, that's the first slasher film you know of. Is it?
I don't really know if I classify that as a slasher.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean,
it's
I
like
guess...
a psychological thriller.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is like, this is like an axe murderer who's like just killing these people.
Yeah.
So that was my...
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was my kind of school of thought on that. Why do I not know what year Psycho came out?
I don't know.
1960. Yeah, that was sad on my part. So, anyways, yeah, that was all. We just did a little tangent on the correct and both the correct ways of gray and axe. So, yeah, it really messed me up if you wrote gray the American way and then axe the English way. People would be like, "What are you doing?
Where are you from?
What are you even trying to pull here?
Who are you?"
Hey, I have shows coming up.
You do?
I have two so far.
Try to drink this quietly.
Yeah, try to drink it quietly so I don't have to edit out your gulps, you disgusting creature, you vile. I didn't hear anything. You did good.
Thanks.
Yeah, the trick is I have to talk while you're drinking.
Okay.
Which is not going to be an issue at all. So I have some shows coming up. I have a show... Don't do that. Gosh. Ugh. Disgusting. If you guys don't know, I despise mouth noises. Like when people eat and drink and I hear it, I hate it. Anyways, I'll talk all about that at some shows I have coming up. One of them is March 26th. I'm going to be at Gutty's Comedy Club. Very excited about this. Not just because it's at like my favorite comedy club, but also because it's a show it's a sobriety show. Mm-hmm. So like all the comics, we're all sober comics and stuff like that. I think. I don't know. I'm a sober comic. I'm assuming.
That's the way I took it.
That's the way I took it too. Like, but as soon as I said that, I'm just like, actually, I don't know. Maybe these guys are drinking. I don't know what's going on. But it's a sober show. Yeah. So it's to celebrate sobriety. Yeah. I'm excited about it. So you can get your tickets at Gutty'sComedyClub.com now for that show, March 26th. And the next day, they have a new place. It's in the theater. The next day, which is March 27th, I will be at Carson's in Evansville, Indiana. So, those are the only two shows I have, and they're back-to-back.
Nice.
So that's nice. Hopefully some more stuff pops up, but, I'm getting a lot of writing done and getting a lot of reading done, so that's not that big of a deal. Speaking of reading...
You didn't put the Carson's show on our calendar yet. You need to do that.
I did. I just must not have invited you
didn't
to
invite
it.
me?
Okay, so we've been reading Chia.
Oh my god.
You're killing it.
I'm like addicted right now.
Good.
I can't handle it.
So
even.
tell me about it.
So we've all talked about my reading goals and how this is our year of mind. I had big goals. Well, not big goals. For the past few years, my goals have been 15 books, and I've never accomplished it. And last year, I felt like I started off pretty strong, and then I got stuck on fellowship. So I ended that year with 12 out of 15, which was the best I've done in a long time. So I kept my goal at 15. Today, I finished 2 more books, and now I am at 8 out of 15 already, 2 months in.
That's awesome.
And I've already started another book. I'm currently reading an ebook. I know I keep saying I'm not going to read more than one book, but it happens. I'm still reading Harry Potter to the kids, which I've been better about.
Mm-hmm.
Finished another chapter today. I read another one tomorrow. So I don't even know what all I've talked about. Okay, so I think a few days ago I finished my audiobook, The Underground Railroad. That was my book I had picked for Black History Month. Written by a black author, and it's historical fiction.
Well, that's nice.
Well,
I know it could have been. It was just funny the way you said it. It was just the way you said it.
I was purposely picking something by a black author written kind of about black history. It's historical fiction. You just put me in the dark there.
I was trying to shut the fan off.
That like I was getting the light, like I need to shut up. But
that's enough.
I really, really enjoyed this book. My only thing that I didn't like about it was I felt like the end was kind of left open, but it's a historical fiction book, so it's not like,
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know what continues to happen to the character.
Was there another? Did you look up to see if there's a sequel?
I didn't.
Well,
should.
Yeah. Well, keep talking.
I don't think there is.
What's the name of the book? I'll look it up while you talk.
The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead.
Okay.
So it's a very good book. I liked the author. The narrator was great. I like audiobooks, but it has to have like the right person. So, anyways, I read that. Then I don't know how many of you get these ads on Facebook, but I get these ads for these really cheap romance novels. Like, not cheap, cheesy. That's what I meant. Cheesy romance novels. And I am a sucker for them. I can't help it.
This is new.
Feelings.
This is kind of new to me. I didn't know this about you until recently.
I told you that I would listen to them at Cook.
Yeah, but I thought it was like your Janet Ivanovich books and stuff like that.
No, I will like the really like trashy, cheesy ones sometimes.
Okay, well, go ahead.
So, Facebook will have these ads, and it's like a sample of a chapter, and sometimes I start to read them, I'm like, that's a little too much for me. But there's this one, it's called If It's Only Love. The author is Lexi, I can't remember her last name. Anyways,
it's not important.
I read the first chapter, and I got sucked in. So you had to download this app. So I downloaded the app and read like 4 or 5 chapters into it on my phone in one night. And then I had to stop because you have to pay to continue to read it. So you can pay like $5 and you get so many like coins. And then each chapter is like 4 or 5 coins, something like that. So I stopped. And then I got paid. So I spent $10 on this book altogether to finish it. And I loved it. It was just nice, and it's a juicy romance novel. So then I finished that one, and I started another cheesy romance novel by the same person. I can't help it. I'm a sucker for him.
There is not a sequel to it, but supposedly Amazon's making a television show based off of it.
Ooh.
That's been in development since 2017.
I'll cry.
So.
I'll cry, though. So anyway, those were 2 books that I have finished recently, but those weren't the ones I finished today. So after The Underground Railroad, I wanted another audiobook, and Jake had bought me a book on Audible called The Wild Heart of Stevie Nicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 2.5 hours long, and I finished that today. I really, really like that. Not only is it a biography about her and a lot about Fleetwood Mac, but the author is like a huge fan.
Oh, cool.
So that really helped it.
That always helps whenever it's not just somebody just trying to make...
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you get to hear a lot about how they got involved with falling in love with Stevie Nicks and stuff, and it's really, really good.
Nice.
And then the other thing I finished, I read this in 5 days. It's a little over 300 pages long, which that's a big deal for me.
Yeah,
to be able to do that.
I'm sure you're proud of yourself for that. I'm proud of you.
I always feel like I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but it's a man called Ove.
Mm-hmm.
It's either Ove or Ove. It's O-V-E. It's another book that Danielle
Radio Edit
lent to me. Hey, Danielle.
Are you just throwing out people's last names?
I am.
What if people like hunt her down now?
I don't know. Should I not?
No, I'm
that?
just kidding.
Oh,
I just like saying that kind of stuff
scared.
because the look in your
I'm
eyes.
scared. Don't hunt her down. I love her.
Yeah, no big deal. I just went back and edited
All right,
it.
good.
So yeah.
Sorry, Danielle.
Yeah.
I
So now
won't say
no
your
one
last
will
name
know.
No more.
No one will know
No one
she
will
is.
know.
I'm not even gonna let it say Danielle.
No, do that.
No. I'm just
Anyways, she lent me this book. It's a fiction book. I knew nothing about it. And I'm so happy I didn't.
Sometimes it looks like you're choking on your own saliva. Like you look like you're dying. Like it looks like it is so difficult for you to
saliva.
talk.
And I hate
It's just really funny to me. Because you'll be in the middle of saying something and then it is like so much labor just for you to just stop and just collect all the saliva in your mouth.
I don't know why it does it, but I do. I have excess saliva. And I'm like, what's bad is like if I'm like talking to people who don't know me and I get to laughing and like I drool a little. It's so embarrassing.
You're like Bob on Bob's Burgers.
Why?
We'll talk about that later. Keep going.
Well, now I've got saliva built up again, so... like Pavlov's dog over here. Anyways, so very, very good book. I will definitely be reading more by the same author, which I don't. It's Frederick something.
All right.
I'm looking at it. Frederick Bachman. Yeah.
Bachman?
Bachman?
Probably Bachman.
Probably.
Yeah.
We all know I'm an idiot and I can't
Well,
pronounce
also, I
names.
can't pronounce the guy who was so kind to write us an intro song, and I'm like, I think his name's Rubadue.
So, I finished that book this morning before I got into bed after work. And, yeah, so I looked and I actually have finished a total of, on the 8 books I've read, 6 of them have been in February, so...
Yeah, you're killing it.
So, I am starting off March right by reading,
You've read
Ready
more
Player
books
2.
this month than I have all year.
Oh, I have.
Yeah. Because I've read 5.
Yeah. So I'm starting Ready Player 2. And then I liked reading a specific book for Black History Month and realizing I don't think me and you have a culture.
No, we don't.
We don't
Not
have
really.
anything that's like people be like, what do you do for Christmas? And we're like, I don't know. We might celebrate on Christmas. I don't know. We might do presents. We have nothing that we're like traditional about. So, but there's all kinds of other cultures that make up this wonderful country of ours. So, I kind of got to looking, and with St. Patrick's Day being in March,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not broadly known, but I think it's actually Irish American Heritage Month.
It's Women's History Month.
Is it Women's History? See, I don't know anything.
Yeah, starting tomorrow is Women's History Month.
Okay. So
Which is today if you're listening to this on the 1st.
So I need to... Why do you know more about this stuff than I do? You're such a better human being than I am.
No, I'm not.
I think so.
I'm not a better
I
human.
should know that.
No,
Why do
because you know the other things that I should know.
Like
So
what?
together we're just one decent human.
Please-
Apart we're
Please
garbage.
don't talk to us when we're not with each other because you'll see the bad sides of us.
That's cheese department.
Just look at each other.
you handle this
Now
one.
you speak. So I guess maybe I'll try to do a twofer. I'll try to read something about Irish history and about women's history in this country.
That's cool. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm not gonna do the whole theme thing. I'm just reading what I want when I want.
But that's what I want.
That's
this is
great.
when I want to do it.
And that's fine. I just feel like you're trying to be a better human than me. You didn't even
that
know.
It was Women's History Month.
Chia, there's just things that I know.
Your estrogen is so much more than mine.
What if I'm a liar?
Shoot, are you?
I don't know. You're gonna have to look it up.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
I've been reading books as well.
Yeah.
I just finished 2 this week. I finished Ready Player 2. I read that.
I'm so excited now to read it after you read it.
I know. I'm glad you're reading it now because I really want to talk to you about it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Ready Player One's my favorite book, and Ready Player Two is not as good, but it's hard to top that. But it's a really, really good book, and it was a quick read, so I'm pretty excited about finishing that. And then, I've read 3 books actually this week.
It is women's history book. Sorry.
See, nice. So I read that, and then after I read that, I decided I wanted to finally finish Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I got halfway through that book and then just kind of hit a wall and put it down. And it's a quick read. I don't know why that happened.
Yeah, it doesn't look very thick.
It's not at all. And then I just picked it back up and read it in like one day. Mm-hmm. I pretty much just, the moment that I was like, all right, I'm just going to finish it. And I finished it that night, I believe. And it's good. Mm-hmm. I think the reason I hit a wall is because so much of the movie is like the book that I was just like, oh, man, I've kind of seen all this.
I have problems with that. That's why,
But it ends different.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it changed, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. At least it ends different than what I remember the movie.
Yeah.
Because the movie ends with them rebuilding Earth again, right? Yeah. Okay, so it ends different then, for sure. So, which is
Sorry,
fun.
Spoilers if you've not seen the movie.
You've had time. I mean, come on. I believe in spoilers, but at this point, like, that was a while back.
That was a while back. Wait, maybe we have some young listeners and they're
true.
Just now, like.
But I didn't tell them exactly what happened.
Okay.
You know, just the main thing that happened.
Okay.
I didn't say how. And then I also just...
You didn't get the answer to the question, so
that's true.
It's okay.
Just before we started recording this, I finished Matthew McConaughey's biography.
Yeah, how's that?
All right. That's not what it's called. It's called Green Lights.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good. Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you'd think it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a really down-to-earth guy, very spiritual in some aspects, and and it's cool because I did the audiobook, and he reads it. I
like that.
Well, the nice thing about him reading it is that when he tells a story that is in the book, he like laughs at it and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like he just tells.
He's remembering it in that moment.
Yeah, so it was really good, and it was just cool to like hear some stuff like the fact that the first 3 words he ever said on screen was all right.
Yeah, I didn't realize till you told me earlier that Dazed and Confused was his first.
Yeah.
First movie.
It was kind of just like a hobby. He wasn't even sure if he wanted to be an actor.
Like he didn't even do like a commercial or anything before that. It was Dazed and Confused.
No, I think he did.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did like a Bud Light commercial or something like that. He did a couple things,
but
and he was like trying to be like a hand model. I think
hand model.
Yeah, I think he wanted to write film. I think he wanted to write movies. This is kind of what got him into it.
Gotcha.
And then he just became, McConaughey, and I like it.
Yeah.
So
I'll probably listen to it at some point.
It's quick. I think it's like 6 or 7 hours to read, and the reason is because I had a show. Last Thursday, I had a show that I went to that was about 6 hours away, total. Well, it's like 2.5, 3 hour drive there
and back,
and then
round trip.
So it's like it was about 5.5, 6 hour round trip drive. So I just listened to it the whole time, and it was good. I'm glad I did. It was very good. So the reason I said the thing about Bob's Burgers is because we've been watching Bob's Burgers. We've never watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I had to write an article on like top 10. I think it was like top 10 adult animated shows or something like that. And Bob's Burgers was one of them. Whenever I was going through the list of like the highest rated shows, and one of them was Bob's Burgers, and I was like, how have I not really watched this? I've seen people talk about it. It's supposed to be great. And it's hilarious. It is such a funny show. But one of the things is that he's a bad kisser because he's got too much saliva.
Oh.
And then
bad kisser? Is that what
No.
Okay.
But then like he falls asleep a lot, and whenever he falls asleep, he's just like so much water and stuff.
There's an animal trying to get
I was going to say, there's so many noises going on around us. So we've been watching Bob's Burgers, and I'm trying to remember what else have we been watching? I think did we start something else?
I know we've been watching WandaVision.
Yeah, we have to watch the last episode of that tonight, or the newest episode of that tonight. No, I thought there was something else that we had watched. Oh, we watched Prom Night.
Oh yes.
So we watched Prom Night, which is like a a classic. It's supposed to be a classic horror movie.
Yeah, but that's not what I got from it.
No, because they talk about it in Scream.
Yes.
And which is your favorite horror movie.
Oh my god, I love Scream.
So, I love ice cream.
I love Scream.
Okay, I love ice cream. So they talk about it in Scream about like it's this huge like classic horror film, which it is, but ultimately that's not the feeling I got from it.
No, I got thriller.
Yeah, it's like which is a fine line between the two, and it's a possibility people's heads might be cut off in the movie. So then, does it if you see a decapitation? Does that make it a horror movie?
At that time, it was probably more horror feeling.
Yeah.
But now it's...
Yeah, now it's just, because we're desensitized so much to things
That's
that
true.
Watching it, we're just like, okay.
Do you think, though, it's like the storyline we're desensitized to or the way it's filmed? Like, because I think if you did that same exact story now, not a remake, like if that had never happened, and they did Prom Night now with our special effects and just the way things are filmed now, I think it would have been scarier.
I mean, maybe.
And like the music change.
So
that's something you talked about a lot.
Yeah. So music has a lot to do with it, and I think you're right. But at the same time, if the movie's shot the same way, just with updated,
but that's
advance in technology, it's not. I don't think it's going to be scarier. I think a lot of it is that filmmakers have learned over the years what shots.
But that's what I mean by filming. The shot's even different. Just the same story. Like
it would be. No, it would
script,
definitely be scarier.
Same story, but we're gonna shoot it a little different. Have some different music, different lighting. I don't think so much as this. We're desensitized to the story. I think we're desensitized to
the way it looks. Does it look realistic or not?
Yes.
No, I'm 100% on board with that. My thing is that that's a very hard thing to ask because it comes down to what does the filmmaker want? Do they want it to be a horror movie, like an updated, like nowadays horror movie whenever they make it, or do they want it to be more of like a psychological thriller, which is what I felt like it more was than a horror movie.
Sometimes those are worse.
Sometimes, for sure.
More recent psychological thrillers that I will not watch again because they scared me so bad, and everyone thinks I'm ridiculous.
Us and Get Out. I love those.
Oh my god, they scare me.
Yeah, I love those so much. Those are such good movies. I watched a movie I was so upset with myself for finishing.
I'm not saying I won't watch them again because they weren't good movies. They were done beautifully.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah. Which is good. That means that he did a good job with them. Yeah. I watched The Lords of Salem, which is a Rob Zombie film that came out a few years ago. Yeah. It is so ridiculous. Yeah. It is. It's like it starts off where you're like, okay, I think he's going for like a 70s horror vibe, which makes sense because that's like Rob Zombie's thing. He likes old horror movies and stuff like that. Until you get like partway through it, and then you're like, oh, he's trying to make like a B movie maybe, like because it gets pretty stupid pretty quick. Yeah. Stupid's mean. Stupid is mean. It doesn't get stupid. I'm saying stupid as in like it goes off the rails to where you're like, oh, this is not where I thought it was going. Like the monsters that are in it and everything get there's just puppy. It's a soundproof studio that we have here. She'll do that until we let her in. That's her letting us know she wants in. Okay, well we'll just ignore the dog and we'll just keep going. Shaky! I just have to do it. Lords of Salem, they're just the monsters and stuff like that was just like, I think he was just making a B movie. Yeah. I won't ever watch it again. Yeah. It's just one of those movies where it's like, I like Rob Zombie and everything, but I don't care that much for his movies. House of Thousand Corpses, I like. Yeah. And whenever that movie first came out, it was so different and so cool, and it kind of introduced me to that old school style of horror movies that I was like, it got me to where I wanted to start watching more classic horror films. So, but then after that, like, I watched The Devil's Rejects, and the first time I watched it, it was okay. The second time I watched it, I didn't really like it, but then we watched it recently, and I was like, this isn't too bad. Yeah. Whenever we rewatched it, I was like, this is okay. And then, what's the Three from Hell? Yeah. It was okay. You fell asleep watching it.
I did.
But yeah, it was all right. Yeah, so
I definitely don't get scared at horror movies like I used to because I started to fall asleep watching Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
Which I think we watched that last week, didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah, so we watched after the podcast.
I don't know. Did we?
I don't know.
No, we would have watched the new Friday the 13th, and we talked about that last week.
Oh, we did. That's right.
So you got to get your priorities right. Maybe re-listen to the podcast before we record.
Maybe it's all a dream.
It could be. It's somebody's dream. I don't know. Probably mine, if anybody's. Definitely isn't your dream. I'm way too short for this to be your dream.
Stop. Why? Why are you too short? Like, you're a few inches taller than me, and that's perfect. I already have to, like,
I don't know.
tippy toe a little bit if I want to come up to kiss you. If
you don't look at Sam Winchester and think how nice it'd be. You smiled. No, you smiled
Not
way.
Not because he's tall.
That was too much.
Not because he's tall.
Don't.
Okay, I just want to point that out.
Stop turning red. Stop it. I was just joking. Now it's time for you to quit hurting my feelings.
At least you just said Sam.
All right, let's move on. That's because I didn't want
Dean.
I didn't want to get like crushed mentally. So other than that, I think the other things I watched Dementia 13, obviously, and then I watched I watched a movie from 1900, the year 1900. It was Joan of Arc.
Wait.
Hello.
Like it came out in 1900?
Yes.
No, it didn't.
100%. It came out in 1900. It's a silent film, but it's in partially color because the guy hand painted it. So it's only like 11 minutes long. Not bad. It's a pretty movie.
Wow.
Yeah. So, because I had to write an article on that. So that came out in 1900. And then I watched White Zombie. Speaking of Rob Zombie, I watched White Zombie, which is the first zombie movie ever made. But they're not like flesh-eating zombies. They're more of like the Haitian folklore because that's where it came from. So they're like, they're basically just zombie slaves to this guy.
Oh.
It's a good movie though. Like that's probably the third time I've watched it in my life. We have it on VHS somewhere. I've had that movie. Huh. My grandma Rubel for some reason bought that for me whenever I was, I don't know, a teenager. So I watched that. Good movie. I mean, it's got Bela Lugosi in it, so it's gonna be good.
Okay.
And then, which it came out I think it's a year or 2 years after Dracula came out. So, which is crazy that he was in Dracula, which is like the movie that kind of, other than Nosferatu, like that's kind of the movie that really started the vampire genre.
Yeah.
And then a year later, he's in the movie that starts the zombie genre. So it's kind of crazy. Bela Lugosi just doing big things. But reportedly, he only made like $800 on that movie. And he regretted it his entire life.
Oh, gosh.
So, I know there's a couple other ones that I had to watch. I just can't remember what they were. Gargoyles. I watched the Gargoyles made-for-TV movie Gargoyles that came out in 1974, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
So I watched this movie when I was a kid, and it scared the fire out of me. It had to have because I still remember it.
The cartoon Gargoyles have anything to do with the movie? Okay.
So it's about like gargoyles basically being like demons, and every 600 years they're awakened to fight with mankind over who can rule Earth. It's kind of a crazy, weird thing like that. But their costumes, like they remind me of like the Sleestack from Don't Worry About It. I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
What is it?
Land of the Lost.
Yes.
Boom.
I knew what it was.
They remind me of that. So yeah, it's real campy, real weird, but not a bad movie. The boys watched it with me and liked it. They're kind of getting into classic film.
Yeah. Good.
70s is classic film to me. It's not like, I know a lot of people are like, well, that's not really a classic movie, but it's like, well, it's a vintage film.
Yeah.
And the boys are kind of getting into it. We watched Bad News Bears last night. They liked that, the original one. They liked that, but then it got Roman into like this baseball kick.
Oh, yeah.
So then this morning, whenever I got up, he wanted to watch Sandlot. So we watched Sandlot, and then we watched Rookie of the Year. He's just kind of like in that mood. So, but then I decided that I was going to watch Mystery Science Theater 3000 with him. And I've never felt closer to Holden in my life.
Oh, yeah?
We laid on the couch. He laid down beside me, and we watched the first episode. I started him with the new show, not the original one, the new one, because I was like, well, this will probably be like updated movies and you might be more into it. And the first episode of, I think, season 2 is Mac and Me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, this is one that's actually got a movie that is watchable. Because some of the movies, it's hard to watch. Because the whole premise of Mystery Science Theater is that a guy and his robots are watching a film. They're forced to watch the worst movies. Mm-hmm. And they just make fun of them. The jokes in this are so... I mean, me and Holden literally was crying laughing a couple times.
Aww.
You would love it. Like, some of the jokes that they throw out there are so funny. There was one where in Mac and Me, there's a remote control car that's like... that the alien is controlling, and it's on the other side of the room from me, whatever the kid's name is. He's not Mac, he's me. I forget what his name is. But he's on the other side of the room, and then all of a sudden the race car, or the little remote control car, starts like flying towards him. And one of the jokes that Jonah, the main guy, he makes as it takes off towards him, he goes, "Witness me!" Oh. And I laughed so hard, and the boys didn't know why I was laughing, but they laughed with me. But man, it was so funny.
Witness!
Yeah, it was so good. Witness!
Last time we watched Mad Max, the newer one, Jake made fun of me because I was...
What?
One of the guys is getting ready to die, and I said, "Oh, witness him."
Oh, yeah, and you meant it. And you, 100% meant it. You were like, "Oh, witness him." I just want him to make it. It's like it's just a movie, man. That's good writing, though.
It is.
You know, he's the guy who made those movies, George Miller? Millar? I don't know. I'm just being stupid with last names now. He's making a new movie that's about basically a genie, so it's gonna have nothing to do with Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of excited to see what it is. I know he's done some other stuff. I feel like he did Happy Feet or something.
Yeah.
Like the guy who did Mad Max also did Happy Feet, which is great. It's just weird. Are you gonna look it up?
I want to look it up.
It's something like that. But
he's a director?
While you're doing that...
Is he a director?
Something. While you're doing that, I'm going to do a little thing. We have new shirts. We have new shirts that look so good. I'm excited about them. So we have Laugh and Be Blessed shirts, as along with a couple of shirts...
it's Miller, not Milner. Miller.
I made a joke.
Oh.
That was a joke.
Yes, he did Happy Feet. Okay. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
No, but go ahead.
Okay.
Try.
So, a couple of the shirts have to do with my stand-up comedy. So, they're fun shirts. They're made by Soul Shine Studio. They're handmade tie-dye shirts with the logos on them. I love them. I'm very, very happy. I feel weird because I wear them, and I'm like, is it weird that I'm wearing my own merch? But I'm like, it's a sweet shirt, and I don't care. So they're great. If you want one, you can just contact us. You can contact us just by going to jakeandchia@gmail.com, or go to Jake Rubel's Blessed Ones on Facebook, and you can contact us there. Or you can just go to jakerubel.com and just contact me there. There's so many different ways to get a hold of me, guys. It's going to be easy for you, and you're going to have fun doing it. So another way, if you want a shirt and you want to help the show, is by going to Patreon and becoming a patron of the show, becoming a blessed one of the show. So if you go to patreon.com/laughandbeblessed, you can contribute $3, $10, or $20 a month and get different perks to the show. So you can get free shirts, you can get a discount on shirts, you get your name shouted out on the podcast, just like Shan, Fawn, Danielle, Rachel, Lindsay, Pam, Jared. Oh, thank you for being Patreon supporters. We love all of you. Some more than others, but that's because Pam gave me life. So the shirts are awesome. If you want to see the shirts, just go to Jake Rubel's Blessed Ones, join the group, and check out the great shirts. Or you can just go to Instagram and at Indiana Rubel. I put some pictures up there. So, you know what we should do?
Talk about this thing real quick.
Okay.
So George Miller was the producer and director of Mad Max Fury Road and Happy Feet
and writer.
Babe and writer.
Yeah.
And
Babe.
And Babe.
Not Gordy. He's nothing.
Did you know Mad Max Fury Road?
6
years old. Came out in 2015.
That's crazy. We were in the old bedroom whenever we watched it. No, because we were in the old bedroom whenever I watched it. Because that's the first, and I've said it on the podcast before, but I'll say it again. First movie in years that you went and bought it. I put it in. I watched it. As soon as it was over, I hit play and watched it again.
Were we in the old house?
No, we were. It was here because it was upstairs.
Sure?
I'm talking about. We're talking about a movie.
Oh,
I'm positive.
My bad. I'm
okay,
sorry.
I remember.
I'm sorry.
It's the only time my memory works for some reason is with movies. And sometimes it's wrong, but I'll convince myself it's true.
So what were you going to say?
You know what we should do?
What?
Well, we were just talking about all those Patreon supporters, and you know what they do? Is they make dreams come true. I'm just kidding. They're just good for our mental health. It's nice to know that people care about us. Mm-hmm. They like the show. They like what we're doing. So let's just do a quick mental health check-in.
All right, let's
do it. And then, since we're only 41 minutes into the show,
that's it.
We'll go ahead and jump into the topic of the show, which you don't know what it is.
I don't.
I like secrets. I like how we do this. So, mental health check-in. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm in a funk anymore.
Yay!
My anxiety has been way better.
The weather has helped with that.
I think so. Yeah, it's been better. I've been outside a little bit more.
As the snow melts, so does the blues.
Boom. Thursday, I got to do a show.
That helps.
Yeah, I mean, I was forced to be around people, which was good for me. It was a good show. It was in Owensboro, Kentucky, at a place called Bar Louie. It was with Dave Dugan, and it was with a guy named. This is the first time I met him. Bill, I think it was Bill McLean, and he's a ventriloquist. He was a really nice guy. He was funny. It was a good time. And then, it was just nice to be out. So I was happy about that. So I've been good. I've been feeling so much better. I feel like I'm getting like structure back in our life. Like me and the kids almost every single night are sitting together at the dining room table and eating and listening to music, where typically it would be that we would all eat watching TV, sometimes in separate rooms, just because we're just like, well, whatever, we're just eating. So I'd make dinner, then we'd disperse throughout the house. So I think that's been helping. It's been nice. How have you been?
I've been better. Structure is definitely helping.
That could mean anything. I've been better.
I feel better.
I've had better.
I've had better.
The pen is blue, but not
royal blue.
The pen is blue, but not my mood. Oh, you silent laughed. That's fun. That's better than the laugh you did earlier in the show. I hope somebody caught it where you were like,
It was funny, but I wasn't paying full attention to
No, it was whenever I was like, Shaki, and then you're like,
It was funny.
You sound like a mule.
Whatever.
You were braying. I can always tell when you fake laugh, it's a bray.
It wasn't a fake laugh. It was a courtesy laugh, but it's a real laugh.
That's not that. No, that's a fake laugh. A courtesy laugh is fake.
Not.
Yes,
a fake laugh is like, I'm going to laugh at this person because what they said is just stupid.
No. That's a sarcastic laugh. No, that's a sarcastic. Yes, that's a sarcastic laugh.
Anyways,
a fake laugh is a laugh that is not real.
Let's get back to me, okay?
All right.
What's important?
How's that effing mood?
Great now. I think a little bit of structure has really helped. And completing books gives me such a high. Mm-hmm. I feel so good today because I'm just like, I feel like I accomplished things and it just feels good.
I don't know if this is a real thing, but I feel like we're completionists. Yeah. If it is, I almost said completist, and I was like, I don't think that's right. So I think because it's the same thing that, like, I like The Hunt. We've talked about it before. I'm an addict. I like The Hunt. Even so much to where if I'm on like a streaming service and I want to watch a specific show, I'll go to like the genres and start searching for the show there. Or, like, go movie to movie to movie looking. And she is like, just go to search and type it in. And I'm like, that's too easy. I want to find it. I like finding it.
I agree because at work, I'll have each one of my patients, like I'll have their name and their code status, but then there's other things I write down, like if they're a sugar check and what time their meds are due. So much to the point though, like, and I have to highlight things as I mark them off. And if I don't, it really bothers me. But it can be like, say they have a 2:00 med due, but for some reason I got retimed and now it's 4:00. Or we're not going to give it or something. So it's just taken off their med list. I can't just mark it off because we didn't give that med. I have to take my white out and white it out as if it was. I can't do that because it'll just bother me because I'm like, but that I can't mark that off because that task wasn't complete because it wasn't done because it isn't necessary now.
Yeah.
So then I just have to act like it didn't exist.
Because you feel like if you do it, then it's like an exercise that you didn't do. So it's
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
I can't stand it.
I have, in order to stay organized with what articles I have to write, I have an app that's just called Remind. And what it is that it's great for people who hate like notifications on your phone that keep popping up, because until you complete this task, it'll keep coming up.
Ooh.
I think it's called Remind. But anyways, so, and that's, reminders. And that's rough for me. So what I'll do is I'll put in a specific day and time and then the title of the article I have to write. And it's usually like I usually do one at like 10 a.m., one at like 2, and then one at 6. So they're spread out throughout the day. Well, 9 times out of 10, the 6 o'clock one doesn't get done. And a lot of times the 10 o'clock one doesn't get done. I have to push it. But I won't go in and delete it. I'll change the time. I'll change I just change it. Because I'm like, well, I don't want to just delete it. And then even if I start it, I still won't delete it. It'll keep popping on my phone, and I just won't delete it until I legit complete it. Because I feel like if I give myself that organization, and also like I kind of train myself to only delete them when they're finished, that just helps me to do it correctly then in the long run. So yeah, I'm just saying. Well, it's like that with everything though. Like whenever we start buying books, if we buy part 1 of a series, we want the whole series, even if we don't like it.
Yeah.
Even if we have the series,
to see the whole series up there.
Like we even do a thing where if we have the series, but they're different publications.
Yes, I hate it.
Yeah, we will still look for the same ones. But then we also have that other publication where it's like, well, do I have to buy all the other ones for this one now?
Like my Lord of the Rings books. I had to get the 2 Towers. I had to buy it, and I couldn't find the publication that went with the first and third book. So it's like a totally different book. It's longer, so it's skinnier, and the print's different, and it really annoyed me, but I read them. Well, the other day we found it,
right?
So I bought it, but now I have just the 2 Towers, and I'm like, well, do I need to look for Fellowship and Return? And then I can give it to someone in a complete set. I'm not just going to give someone 2 Towers, though.
Right.
Like that.
So that's the issue with the way that we collect, because like we just got we didn't talk about it. We have not been talking about board games that much. The last couple weeks we've held off on games because Chia's just been really, really tired, and I've just had stuff I've had to do. So we've not played any. We are playing one tonight. We just bought one. I think it's the most expensive game we own.
Play that one?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
I've been looking it up.
Have you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Doing?
Yeah, we'll die.
Okay.
So this is a co-op game that we're gonna play. It's called Legendary Encounters, and it's based off the Aliens movies, which I'm stoked about because I love the Aliens movies. So I'm very excited about it. It's a deck building game, so it's like all with cards. I've not played it yet, so I can't really tell you exactly how it plays. But I'm stoked to play it. But like now that we have the Legendary Encounters game, we went and bought it. So we pre-ordered it from the local game store, which is Game Preserve at College Mall in Bloomington. It's a great place. Go check it out. We went there, ordered the game. It came in. We talked to the clerk about just this style of game. He was telling me how fun it is and the different gameplay and everything. And I know that there's more than just this one Legendary. There's Marvel Legendary, there's Predator, there's Big Trouble in Little China, Buffy, Firefly. There's a bunch of them. And I just ordered Predator right there. I was just like, I know we're going to want Predator because we are completionists. We're going to want it all.
Yeah.
Which is going to be crazy because that's probably the most expensive game we've bought so far, I think. Because it was about $65, $70. Yeah. So I was a little nervous, but... whatever. We'll get we're gonna get a bunch of gameplay out of it. So, and you have a good job. Yeah. Yeah, and I have a fun job. Whatever. So, speaking of jobs, are you ready to get into the topic of the show? Are you sure?
I am, because we're kind of far in.
Okay. Well, topic of the show this week is weirdest jobs in history.
In history.
Weirdest jobs in history. Some of them are still going on today, but there's some of them that I just wanted to add. Okay. So we're gonna start off kind of strange.
Okay.
And it's gonna change as we go on. But we're gonna start. I'm gonna tell you a job title. It's okay. I'm gonna tell you a job title, and I want you to tell me what you think that job is. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's start. We're gonna kick it into gear.
All right.
Food technologist. What do you think a food technologist does?
I think a food technologist is someone who works with food, obviously, but they work on different flavors and how to create new and exciting type of food.
Close. Okay. A food technologist is a pet food tester.
Oh, pet food tester.
I never thought of this. So there has to be someone to test the pet food.
Do they eat it themselves?
Yes.
No, they don't.
Yes. They have to eat it and test the taste and texture. And you have to have a degree to do this job.
No, you don't.
Yes. And you're going to make, I think it's a degree in food science. I'm not very good at taking notes. Okay. But I think it's, you're going to make between $34,000 a year to $100,000.
Why do I not have this job? I'll eat dog food.
I thought the moment I read that, I was like, that's
100%
the perfect job for my dad. My dad used to eat dog food all the time. He would just get drunk and just eat it. So that's the first one. So food technologist. Okay. Professional mourner.
Professional mourner?
Professional mourner. What do you think that job is?
Okay. Someone who, I'm just throwing something out here. Someone who will go to funerals and cry over someone.
Yes.
Just to get everyone else crying.
This is... This is someone who is hired to be a professional mourner. So you can hire them. If you're unpopular, you can hire someone to go to your funeral and cry. You can just hire people to go in here. Here's the thing.
Can they make up a story like how they knew you?
Yeah, they could just do anything they want. There can be liars. They're not even really sad.
I was gonna say they are a liar.
I know people who should be. They do this for. They're just like, I'm so sad. I just need, and it's like you're dramatic.
I've met people like
There's
that.
a lot of people
that
do this.
Be like so sad. I'm like, they talked to you like twice.
I'm glad you said. Oh, I know. Every time anyone dies, they're just like, they were my boyfriend. I loved them so much. That was my girlfriend. We were getting married. And it's like you're making things up.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it where you said that they cry to get other people to cry, because I wasn't thinking that. You're smart. Because I was thinking, I was like, they're just unpopular. No one's going to go to their funeral.
Because if someone's like crying, like I'm a sympathetic crier sometimes. There's been a few funerals.
No, you're right.
Where I've gone with you that I really didn't know the person. And someone dying just makes me sad anyways.
I just thought of something. There's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm with a professional mourner.
Is there?
Yeah, because they hire her to go to their friend's play. Clive, whatever the actor's name is. Yeah. They go to his play and they hire her to cry so that way the whole audience cries.
See, I'm telling you.
Yeah, because my thing was, I was like,
well, a funeral and I didn't really know the person, but I'm there for support. I'm sad anyways because I'm like, man, this sucks. You know.
But then if you see people cry.
But then when I see people cry, I'm like, oh my god, you just lost somebody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I wrote down, I was like, unpopular, just hire a professional mourner to go to your funeral. But if someone hires someone to mourn because no one else cares, that person who hired them cared about you enough to hire someone to come to your funeral, so someone obviously cares.
Unless
so yours
it's
makes
like
more
in your
sense.
Funeral plan.
So yeah, that's true. And they make about $35 to $500 an hour.
I mean,
but if you think about it, they'll probably work an hour or two because they're only gonna go to like one event or something like that and cry and then just get their money.
It's like a side job.
Yeah. Okay. Vent sexers. What do you think a vent sexer is?
Someone who determines the sex of a vent. It's like that vent's a female. That
I know. Yeah, I seen you looking at our vent when you said that, and I honestly thought you were gonna get this.
VENT.
I thought you were gonna get this.
Vent sexer.
Yes. I thought you were going to get this.
You thought I'd get this.
I did. I thought you were going to get it. This is someone who checks the sex of chickens.
Why would I get that?
Because it's called a vent. You've called it a vent.
I've called it a vent?
Yeah.
I've never called a chicken a vent.
No, it's not. It's the vent.
I've never caught anything about a chicken event.
That's not what I made. The vent is the small opening on a chicken's fluffy butt that functions as both a reproductive opening and an extramental escape hatch.
A vent.
I could have swore you have.
No,
Anyways, there's
escape hatch.
Chicken sexing. It's a thing, man.
Okay.
Out there sexing chickens, making about $21,000 a year.
Okay.
Just gonna sex a few chickens, make me a few grand, and just going about my life.
I feel like that's a harder job than what it's making it sound to be.
Yeah, think of how many times someone goes to like Rural King and buys a chicken, and it's supposed to be a hen, and it's a rooster.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it's not the easiest. I think it takes 3 years of training.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy.
Oh, sex and
you're not gonna get this one. There's no possible way. If you get this one,
how many of these do we have altogether?
I have no idea. Too many.
Okay.
I had way too much fun doing this. Penetration tester. Here's a hint. It has nothing to do with vent sexes.
Penetration tester?
Yeah, just what do you think it is? Don't take too long.
Just...
First thing.
I don't know. Something about penetration, and I don't think it involves human beings.
A penetration sexer... Well, I mean, yeah, that's what it is. If you want to get down to it.
What is it?
A penetration tester. I shouldn't have put those two back to back. Is a legal bank robber. Think if you have like a security system set up, a safe, all that stuff. How do you know it's hard to rob it unless you have a professional try to rob it?
To try to penetrate.
I'm gonna penetrate that safe. I'm gonna get in there legally and with consent. I'm penetrating that safe. $85,000 a year to be
penetrate a safe for $85,000 a year.
The thing is, they would have to pay them well, right?
Yeah.
Because they know how to penetrate safes.
Yeah.
How many times can we say penetrate on this? So, snake milker.
Oh, I know what a snake milker is.
Yeah, I knew you would know that one.
Yeah, you're milking the fangs to get the venom.
Exactly, to make.
Anti-venom.
Yeah.
Anti-venom.
Yeah, snakes don't have nipples. You make about $2,500 a month doing that.
Nope.
Not enough.
Worth it. No.
That is not enough. Because you're literally putting your life in danger.
Okay, move on.
Isn't that wild?
Move on, we're done.
All right, here's one. We're for the most part, most of these are just what they sound like. You'll guess this. Water slide tester.
Oh, I want to do that.
Did you know that's a job?
I didn't know it was a job, but sign me up.
Yeah, you're gonna make about $30 to $34 an hour or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe it's $30,000 a year. I think it's $30,000 a year.
What in the world is up with your notes? That's a big difference.
I didn't put. I just put $30-$34. I didn't put a K after it.
Oh.
I think I missed a K.
Okay.
I did these right before we recorded.
Oh, okay.
I Google.
Way to go.
Professional sleeper. This is the perfect job for you.
Oh, I do that.
Yeah, $10 an hour is
what
about
am I
what you
doing,
make.
testing beds?
Yeah, there's all different reasons for it. You could be testing beds.
Blankets.
NASA pays people to be professional sleepers.
To do what?
To test out like sleeping in certain situations and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like what's the best way? But yeah, blankets, all kinds of stuff. Professional, but it's only like $10 an hour, and you don't get very much work. So. That's a side job. Yeah, but you could just sleep. So
I could get off work and go to my other job and go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And get paid like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then here's one. It's called Warden of the Swans. That's just what it sounds like. Your job is
guarding swans.
Your job is to take account of all the swans that are somewhere in the UK. I don't know, man. Probably.
Do you think it's like something for the royal family?
No, it is for sure. Stop doing that. It is for sure. It is for sure. But there's also someone that's the maker of the swans. And it's like, oh, so you just make them check each other's vents. Like, he's just like, get in that swan vent.
So there's a warden and a maker.
Yeah, and what the maker of the swans does is he has the swans test penetration on vents. How about this one? Groom of the stool. Someone's job was literally just to help the king to the toilet.
Okay, I didn't know if we were like talking about like a stool to sit on.
No.
Or a BM or what?
A BM. Okay, let's get medical about it. Okay, this is crazy. This is not a thing anymore. Resurrectionist. What do you think a resurrectionist is?
Was this someone to make sure that people weren't going to come up out of their graves?
No, opposite. This is someone who would dig up graves. So they would, and I don't know like what the whole purpose here is, but they would, well, the purpose is they would dig up bodies and they would sell them to the schools, and they would sell them. But my thing is I'm like,
that's not a job.
No.
That's called grave robbing.
No, it was a legit job. That was their job. So I'm wondering, like, did they run out of people? Like, not enough people were signing up to saying, yeah, I'll donate my body to science. So then they had to go to people and be like, hey, do you have a loved one that's dead that we can just have? And then we'll give you X amount of dollars for him. So I'm wondering if the people were just saying, yeah, here, give me like $30 and go get grandma.
Point in burying them in the first
and
place?
That's what I was wondering. Do you know why they had to stop doing it?
Why?
Because these two dudes became serial killers. They were just like, well, I'm not going to go dig up a body. I'll just kill him. And they just started killing people and selling them to the schools.
Oh.
So they became serial killers in like the 19th century and was just murdering.
For
like
hire. Two
guys just murdering people. But you know, I've always said if you're going to be a serial killer, like get a job with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
an assassin. Come on.
Seriously, I said that for years. And then there was a movie, I think it's called The Ice Pick Killer or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's literally about a guy who was a serial killer. He was a crazy person who wanted to kill people and just got a job with the mafia doing it.
There you go.
That's what I've always said. If you're gonna do it, you know, just go do it to where it's not as creepy.
Yeah.
You know, don't creep me out so much. Don't
just don't do it. Period.
Yeah, don't be a creep. Some people have to. Gee, it's part of life.
No, they don't.
That's part of life. Where am I at? What about a fuller? A fuller? You're not gonna guess it. A fuller is a human washing machine.
Nope, I would not have guessed that.
Nah, so this is someone who would just stand in like a large.
Like a trickster.
Nah, yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, it's Fuller.
Oh,
so
I can't see it.
This person, well, I'm not showing you. This is my notes. This person would just stand in like a large tub full of chemicals and water, mostly urine, because urine's sterile and that's what they use to clean clothes. And people would just throw their dirty clothes in there,
and he just stomps it.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that. A human washing machine.
How do you know there's chemicals in there? Maybe so. When you say chemicals, like he's getting thrown.
Because that's what the article said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Whatever.
Don't come at me.
I'll come at you any way I want.
So we've all heard this. We've heard of a whipping boy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think a whipping boy is, though? You ever put thought into it? Because I hadn't.
I always thought a whipping boy. I thought this went back to having slaves, and it was just a term you would use towards the person you were whipping. No,
so a whipping boy, basically what it was is that if you have a prince, okay, you can't whip the prince. So what you do is...
Are you serious?
Listen, what you do is you get the prince basically a best friend. Most of the time from birth. Like they grow up together, they're best buddies. You make sure that they're best friends. That way, whenever the prince does something wrong, you whip his best friend in order for him not to want to do it anymore. So that way, he's just like, oh no, don't hit Steve. I like him.
That is so psychologically messed up.
Yeah. Because what if...
when you do something wrong, other people hurt.
Yeah. But maybe that's good for a royal family.
Maybe.
You know, your consequences are going to hurt other people.
I kind of can see it being good. Like, I would never do this, but I could kind of see it being
We're just like, yeah, that's a great idea.
all around, because you're like, no.
Maybe we should do a test.
I'm not going to hurt you.
Let's do a test. Let's
I'll hurt something you love.
It wouldn't, no, we're not going to do a test, because that would work on Holden and Roman, but not Jasmine. Jasmine would be like, yeah, beat Roman.
Yeah, I'm sure it was their fault somehow.
Yeah. So, all right, how about a knock knobbler?
I don't know.
You ever knock knobbler?
You. What is it? What
said knobbler, not gobbler.
I don't know what that is either.
I was thinking Chainsaw Bob. This is someone whose job was to chase dogs out of the church.
Why were the dogs in the church? Why did they want to worship Jesus?
That's what I was thinking. But what happened that someone's just like, we need a knock knobbler around here?
Why is it called a knock knobbler?
No one knows.
This is a made up word.
No
I don't know what
knows.
we call it, a knock knobbler.
No one knows. It's so ridiculous to me. That
What
was
a
their
weird
job.
thing
They're
to
just like,
say.
what? So what are you doing? Ah, man, I gotta
Why
chase
are
some.
the dogs coming in so
chase
much?
some
Shut the
dogs.
door.
That's all you have to do. Just
Was
shut
it cold
the
out? I don't understand.
Oh man. All right. Speaking of knocks, how about a knocker up?
This is someone who artificially inseminates people.
I feel like if we named jobs, that we would just be like, "You're a knocker up. Just go knock her up."
What is it?
A knocker up is a human alarm clock. So this is
That,
somebody.
like, hits you?
No, back in the day, this is somebody who they would walk down the street and shoot peas at your window.
Oh.
They would with a straw. They would like a
I
spit
feel like
wad.
I've seen this in movies.
Yeah. And they'd shoot peas at the window to wake you up. That was your alarm clock. You would hear the peas at the window, which is crazy.
Wake up.
Now here's a job that's still going on today. It's very popular today in Japan. It's a professional pusher. What do you think that is? What do you think a professional pusher would do?
Okay, so when you say pusher, I think of two things. One, just pushing people. The other thing is I think of a drug pusher. So.
Okay, so professional pusher is someone in Japan that pushes people onto trains to pack them in. Because there's so many people that they're dressed like cops. They have a uniform and everything. Or not cops, like a train conductor or whatever. Like, they have a uniform.
They have a uniform, yeah. They look authoritative.
And they stand, and whenever the doors are, right before the doors close, there's all these people trying to cram in there. They stand behind them and shove them to pack them inside the train. As many people.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Why are you on the train?
Yeah, but if I was going to be in this
another
situation,
train.
I just feel like I would be the pusher, not the pushy.
Be the pusher, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that whenever they get on the train and someone's pushing them, they're just like, I'll do it. You know? Electric shock giver. So, electric shock receiver, I could understand. Somebody who goes and is part of experiments and stuff like that. Though. Right. But that's usually scientists. This person's job is in Mexico. They have this little wooden box that delivers electric shock to people.
What for?
They travel to the pubs and shock drunks to sober them up.
Oh. Well, they're not called pubs if it's in Mexico.
Well, whatever. No, I was probably an English website I was reading.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even write pub. I just said it. That's what's really funny. This one's crazy. This is a car plate blocker. So in Iran, the way that they deal with traffic jams, because there's so many people there and traffic is so horrible, is that they schedule when cars are allowed on the street on the roads. Okay. So they look at your license plate, and if the last number in your license plate is odd or even, depends on which day or determines which day you're allowed to go out. Oh. So all the odd numbers, Monday, evens, Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah, but that sucks for people.
Yeah.
Because how are they going to get to work? So they literally hire somebody to walk behind their car in town so the cameras can't see what their license plate number is. Yeah, people just walk behind cars to block their license plate. Yeah, that's a job.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then the last one that I have here is elector. Have you ever heard? You've heard of elector,
No.
So I've heard of it. I just didn't know what it was. And it's somebody who, if you're working in a factory or something back in the day, you didn't have audiobooks. You didn't have any of that stuff. Yeah. It was probably very boring. I've thought of this before. I've thought, whenever we worked at Cook, I was like, what did people do before headphones?
Yeah.
This would it'd be horrible. Well, they don't want people talking, though, because if you talk, then your work's going to slow down. Right. Your work's going to slow down. You're not going to be put out as much product, and then it sucks. So they would hire this guy to come in and stand on a podium, and he would read stories. He would read the news. Cool. He would just get up and just basically speak very loudly so the whole factory floor could hear him. Oh. And he would. That's
cool.
That's what I thought. I was like, it's a human podcast.
Yeah.
How great is it? Which technically,
this is too.
This is human. It's a live.
I promise for real people.
It's a live human podcast. I wrote human podcast and thought that's clever. When I wrote it down, I was like, "Ooh, that's a clever one, Jake. Good
you're a writer.
Good job." Oh, I'm not an editor. I'll tell you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was the last one. That was the last one that I wrote down.
God.
Oh, man. Which one of those do you think you'd want to do?
I'd do the dog food. Or the sleeping.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The dog food, you're going to make more money.
Yeah.
I feel like the dog food one's
But
maybe
the sleeping, I mean...
What
I'm
about the
gonna be
electric
sleeping
shock
anyways.
one?
No.
You don't want to shock drunks?
No. Then I have to go around them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Why'd you roll your sleeves up like you're going to just fight
I'm burning
me?
up.
Are you?
Yes.
I'm not at all.
God, I'm
There's
hot.
something wrong. All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap things up?
No.
We're going to wrap things up. And you know what? I want to end this episode of this podcast playing that song again.
Play it.
It is a good
Play
tune.
it.
So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to wrap it up. We just want to thank everybody. Thank you for, and just always wrap it up before you test penetration. That's the thing that we really want to point out.
God.
Sorry. I know, it's wrong. Is that still family friendly? Is it still a clean podcast if I say that? I'm saying it in a clean way.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll go with it.
We're going to go with it, folks. And it's Chia's fault if you didn't like that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it feels good to laugh. It feels good to laugh,
does.
Chia.
It feels very good. I like laughing.
You know what laughter does for us?
What?
It blesses us.
It really does.
You really didn't know what I was going to say.
I didn't. Shut up.
All right, everybody have a great week. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you for all that you do. Check us out online, Jake Rubel's Blessed Ones, jakerubel.com, at Indiana Rubel, or patreon.com/laughandbeblessed. You can find Chia on Litzy. That's about the only place you'll find her. And it's what? At Chia Rubel.
No, it's at C Rubel.
At C Rubel 88 on Litzy. Thank you for everything that you guys do. You're amazing, and this week is going to be a good week for you. It's going to be a great week.
Amazing.
The weather's nice here in Indiana now. Things are looking good. People are going to just treat you bad this week, and you're not going to care.
And you won't care.
Because it's going to happen. Because we can't control idiots.
No,
we can control other people. We can control how we feel about it.
Sure.
And we love you. And just remember all week long,